の足元によどむ街は至る箇所が低下しているがエアロゾルで歪むパズルのピースは動き続けている止まることも知らず東の新線を黒い皮膚が隠して灰色に濁る空を分割する幾度も一点への収束を過程に取り果てぬトポロジーを形成していく失ったこの夢はプラスチックにつけて踊ってもし君が飲み干す時この街は沈む切断先から未だもたげゆく風景がサチンに消えていく前にラジカルに濡れたすすいどの海は砕け続けている凍ることも知らず成長し続ける飽きてくちゃ雲をくらい珪藻のように枝を伸ばして振るだけツタのつるのように絡みついて不安定なままで答えだけにすがりついてるパズル失ったこの夢はアスファルトに溶けて凍ってく雲を錆びついた時のせい空余裕なく回る失ったこの夢はプラスチックにつけて踊ってもし君が飲み干す時この街は沈む
真后悔没学轻功。2번 부대, 5번 부대, 2번 부대, 5번 부대, 2번 부대, 5번 부대. 2번
영우전 뭐.
5번 부대
왜 날 공격하고 그래요?
2번 부대
要走的路还很
5번
长。
부대 2번 5번 부대 5번 부대 2번 1번
真
부대
后悔没学
2번
轻功。
부대
너의
사번
마력을
부대.
마르게 하지 마.
5번 부대 1번 부대 2번 부대 6번 부대 5번 부대 4번 부대 3번 부대 5번 부대 3번 1번 부대 4번 1번 부대 4번 부대 5번 부대 1번 부대 4번 1번 부대 5번 부대 4번 부대 1번 부대 4번 부대 1번 부대
더 좋은 부적은
说
없나요?
我丑，接招吧！啥？说我丑，接招吧！要从哪里开始？啥？要从哪里开始？要从哪里开始？
2번 부대
多挣点
영우전
钱
뭐.
5번 부대 2번 부대
凡事要步步
5번 부대
为营。
1번 부대
要走的路还很长，
2번 부대 5번
真
부대
后悔没学
2번
轻
부대
功。
凡事要步步
多
为
挣点钱，
왜 날
5번
공격하고
1번
그래요?
부대
要走的路还
2번
很长，
5번 부대 2번 부대 1번 부대
真后悔没学轻功。
2번 부대 5번 부대 6번 부대 4번 부대 5번 부대 2번 부대 3번 1번 부대 4번 1번 부대 5번 부대 4번 1번 부대 4번 1번 부대 4번 부대 1번 부대 3번 부대
说我
1번
丑
부대 ，
接招吧！啥？
4번 1번 부대
啥？要从哪里开始？说我丑。说我丑，接招吧！啥？啥？ 啥？说我丑，接招吧！
sitting in the back up there, everybody. Thanks for giving us that amazing performance to you too. Goodbye and good night.
要从哪里开始？啥？啥？要从哪里开始？
2번 부대
Come up to meet you, tell you I'm sorry. You don't know how love.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Fallout 76 video, and in today's one I'm going to be showing you guys a glitch in the game that you can use to get unlimited carry weight in Fallout 76. Now this is extremely helpful just because until Bethesda fixes the whole stash thing where you can only carry 400, you're going to have to be your walking stash, because you will be able to carry unlimited items. You can carry as many as you want, as much junk as you want, anything. So if you guys do go on to enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. Everybody, so to do this glitch, it's really easy, pretty much like every glitch in this game. I don't know how this glitch got past the creators at Bethesda and kind of got into the final base of the game, but it did. So here's how you do it. So what you got to do is, all you have to have is any variant of a pocketed armor. So this can be Raider pocketed armor, leather pocketed armor, whatever you want. It just has to be pocketed. So to get pocketed, if you don't have it already, what you will need to do is either scrap a whole bunch of armor so you unlock the pocketed upgrade for it, or you can go to a location that generally has a lot of enemies, and generally those enemies should have some armor on them if they're a super mutant or a scorched or anything like that. Go to one of those locations, kill those enemies, because oftentimes those enemies do carry pocketed armor on them. I've picked up pocketed armor several times off the Scorched, and a really good location to do this is up at that portside pub where I showed you guys that bottle cap exploit. But once you have got your hands on some pocketed armor, all you have to do is go into your inventory into the apparel tab and just spam to put on the pocketed armor, and then you're taking it off. So just spam X or whatever button it is for you to put it on and take it off. Spam it over and over again. As you will see, if you look down at your carry weight, it is actually going down. So that may be kind of confusing to you, like how would this mean that you can carry more? Well, what we're going to be doing is taking this number all the way down to zeros and going into the negative, and when this number goes into the negative, that's when it sort of glitches out, and all you got to do is get it a few into negative. I like to have it at least 100 just because, I don't know, I just like to be safe. But once you go into negatives, you can carry literally anything you want to. So now you'll be able to carry pretty much any item in the game, and it will not affect your carry weight whatsoever. This glitch is super helpful for that XP glitch I just showed you guys yesterday, because when you do that glitch, you actually get a ton of other junk, such as fuel and rubber and things like that, and that really just loads you down. So if you have this unlimited carry weight, that solves that problem instantly. Now, the only problem with this glitch is that if you leave the game or something like that, you are going to lose that effect. So whenever you load back into the game, just keep that pocketed armor on you at all times, I'd say, and just spam that every time you get into the game, and every time you load in, you'll be able to have an unlimited carry weight. But that is pretty much all there is to this glitch, you guys. It's super simple. I know it's going to be a shorter video, but you guys did say that you sort of enjoyed the straight to the point, shorter tutorials, because I know a lot of people try to stretch them out to the 10-minute mark, but you know, I'm not going to do that. So you guys said you liked this, so I'm going to keep up with that. Plan on more Fallout 76 videos coming out tomorrow. And finally, guys, I just like to say thank you so much for the support lately. We've gained over like 500 subscribers in like 2.5 days, I think, so far, which is just absolutely insane. We blew past 16,000 subscribers last night, and we're almost at like 16.3 right now, which is just absolutely insane. I thank you guys so much for the support. Plan on plenty of more videos coming out in the future. And finally, if you guys did enjoy this video at any point or found it helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Over the years, we have seen game companies provide all kinds of silly justifications for the implementation of loot boxes in their games. The likes of EA and Activision Blizzard in particular have spouted so much utter nonsense and bullshit to defend their goldmine, with player choice in particular being the most popular of excuses. They make it out to be as if monetization schemes and games are to our benefit, as if they were implemented for our sake, rather than for the sake of filling their own pockets with all the money in the world. Now, among the major game companies, many will probably argue that Ubisoft is the lesser of evils in terms of how they go about implementing microtransactions, but they are also far from innocent. Many will recall that Ubisoft at one point assured there wouldn't be any microtransactions in The Division before breaking that promise, and once games like Rainbow Six Siege began to pick up steam, Ubisoft began to retroactively readjust their business model to maximize monetization, to the dismay of players. Most recently, Assassin's Creed Odyssey locked its XP booster, which could have easily been a gameplay toggle rather than a $10 gameplay feature behind a paywall, giving those who prefer the pace that the boosted XP gain offered no choice but to shell out additional cash for something very trivial. It was also only early this year that Ubisoft discussed how the company intends to gradually shift from focusing on making games to making live services, which isn't at all reassuring when it comes to perception surrounding the future of the company. It's obviously a smart business move, but there are concerns among gamers about what this will all ultimately do to the quality of their products, as we have seen games suffer from this stuff time and again. Now, I'd like nothing more than to be able to assure you that things will get better in the long run, but a recent statement from a Ubisoft representative has only served to further ignite concerns that the publisher's priorities are woefully misaligned with their core consumers. The following information comes from a statement posted on Steam by Ubisoft representative UB Warlock, who responded to inquiries regarding loot boxes being discovered in the 2.5D motorcycles game Trials Rising, which, as you can imagine, stirred up certain crowds. It didn't help matters that everything about UB Warlock's response was the last thing anyone opposed to any kind of loot box implementation wanted to hear. Here's what he had to say. Hey, as has been pointed out, these loot crates are purely cosmetic. I do appreciate why players feel the way they do about them, not a huge fan myself. However, as it was also pointed out, you can always just not buy them. Ultimately, they're intended for players who want something to help them stand out from the crowd when playing online, or even just those who are big fans of the game and want to support us further. Yes, it means that some players end up spending more in our games than others, and that does result in increased profits for us. It also helps us to put more money into new titles and to understand what players look for in their games. If players simply didn't buy these crates, they would not be added into games in future. All in all, loot crates, cosmetic items in general, have been a huge boon for the gaming industry, being a driving factor in the increased popularity of gaming over the past decade or so. They aren't a bad thing if done right. Your feedback on the topic is still very much appreciated, as this is a hotly debated topic. I do hope you consider the impact it would actually have on your enjoyment of the game though. Ubisoft support. Oh fucking hell, where do I even begin? I guess I'll just go paragraph by paragraph and explain what my qualms are with this response. The first paragraph highlights that this game's loot boxes are purely cosmetic, and that players can always choose not to buy them. Loot box rewards being cosmetic only definitely helps, but cosmetic or not, rewards are rewards no matter how you put it, and cosmetics can very much affect one's enjoyment of a game, especially in an online game where part of the appeal is showing off by looking dope as hell or by expressing your own personality through your custom character design. Sure, that stuff doesn't statistically affect how you perform in a game, but to say that's not part of the overall gameplay experience is folly. There's a reason why so many people were pissed at the way Destiny 2 handled monetization during its launch months, despite them mainly being tied to cosmetics, and same thing goes with what is currently going on with Call of Duty Black Ops 4. They ultimately come down to not properly rewarding players for playing the game, focusing instead on rewarding those who spend a little extra cash. Destiny 2 was never pay to win by any means, but its overall experience was certainly marred by its purposely lackluster and throttled reward system. So you can point out that microtransactions in a game are cosmetics only, but it doesn't automatically justify the way it's implemented, especially when the scheme of choice is loot boxes, the glorified gambling slot machines that we all know and hate. I for one don't find any form of a system in which you pay for the random chance to obtain a desired reward, in which you don't actually know what you're paying for, to be acceptable. Moving on, UB Warlock highlights in the second paragraph how the cosmetics are ultimately intended for players who want to stand out from the crowd when playing online, or people who just want to support the game further. Yeah, well, guess what, dude? There are tons of people who like to stand out from the crowd when playing a game online. He's acting as if this were a very specific crowd, and while there are people out there who may not care all that much about cosmetics, there are certainly plenty of other dedicated players who, when given the chance, will strive to make their avatars look as badass as possible, and that will give them some sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. So to think it's acceptable to compromise such a fulfilling element of an online game so that only those who pay benefit most from it simply shows once again how out of touch game publishers like Ubisoft are nowadays, many of them willfully. From there, in paragraph 3, UB Warlock admits that loot boxes do indeed yield profits, with some players spending more than others, while saying that this all helps them put money into new titles and to understand what players look for in their games. Ah yes, the same old excuse game publishers like to use, which essentially bogs down to we need predatory loot boxes to help afford our operations and our games. That's complete bullshit and they know it. Loot boxes are simply the cheapest and easiest way to earn lucrative revenue in the gaming industry. I don't doubt for a second that the billions earned by game companies from nickel and diming players yield a huge surplus, much of which goes into the pockets of executives and doesn't go into giving ground floor developers and workers pay raises or into furthering game development. Most of that money earned from recurrent monetization doesn't go into the art of making games, it goes into corporate growth and expansion of financial prospects. I mean, just look at the half step of an upgrade that FIFA 19 is from FIFA 18, and tell me with a straight face that it absolutely needs to make billions from Ultimate Team card packs to help with these kinds of half-assed and half-baked annual releases and upgrades. Don't get me wrong, I'm well aware that AAA games are all major financial investments, but not to the point where game companies can justify rampant, shady monetization by alleging that games cost too much to make. You've also got to love the bit about how loot box profits are also used to understand what players look for in their games. It's very simple, we look for a good time, and schemes like loot boxes are 100% counterintuitive to that end. The richest part of all, though, is how he says that if players simply didn't buy these crates, they would not be added into games in the future. Yeah, well, if players simply didn't buy meth wouldn't get made, but that doesn't make meth a good thing for society now, does it? It doesn't help matters that the bulk of the profits earned from recurrent monetization comes from a select few people who can afford or are addicted enough to shell out hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands on a single game. There are studies out there that show that only a small percentage of people make up for the bulk of revenue generated from microtransactions in platforms like mobile games, and you can bet your ass that the same applies for AAA releases. So to counter UB Warlock's point, most players either dabble in it a little or straight up don't buy microtransactions, and yet the majority of us are made to endure their detrimental effects because a few select whales are making companies heaps of cash. Companies literally have a very small percentage of the player base, those with the heaviest pockets, dictate the business model and quality of their games. So yeah, point the finger at all of us gamers, why don't you? Rather than evaluating yourselves and the fact that you value a select few customers more than the majority who'd like to see shit like this gone from our games. Next up is the fourth paragraph, during which UB Warlock talks about what a boon loot boxes have been for the gaming industry and how they have driven increased popularity in gaming. Indeed, they've been a financial boon for the gaming industry, but the caveat is that the games themselves are generally given less care by publishers. For hardcore gamers, seeing how companies like EA, Activision Blizzard, Take-Two, and Ubisoft have twisted their products has been nothing short of a whimper for the medium. And no, gaming's popularity did not increase because of the existence of microtransactions. Gaming's popularity gained a huge boost off of the back of creatively conceived and well-executed titles. What made Fortnite such an explosive success wasn't the implementation of monetization, it was primarily the fact that it was both fun to play and visually appealing for millions. And Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't sell 17 million copies in 2 weeks because of microtransactions. There's none of that there. It sold that many copies because it was a highly anticipated sequel that delivered unparalleled fidelity, attention to detail, and storytelling prowess. Games are popular because good games elevated the medium, not because executives decided to exploit the medium to rake in all the money in the world. The Ubisoft rep then says what game publishers like to say to downplay the issue of paid randomized rewards. They aren't a bad thing if done right. Yeah, well, I'd believe you if just about every game I've encountered featuring loot boxes didn't on some level suffer for it. There isn't a single game that wouldn't be better off with having rewards tied to gameplay progression rather than glorified slot machines. That's how games used to be until publishers realized they could, little by little, strip what should be inherent elements of games and then sell them separately as gambling rewards. The only way loot boxes could ever be done right, quote unquote, would be if they were properly regulated with the appropriate age restrictions and some much needed oversight. But the gaming industry has adamantly lobbied against that, hasn't it? And even then, their implementation is simply not ideal because again, every time they are there, they just take something away from the game. Finally, the Ubisoft representative concluded by expressing his appreciation for feedback that clearly went ignored before asking the concerned player to consider the impact loot boxes would actually have on their enjoyment of the game, essentially insinuating that customers are blowing things way out of proportion with this stuff. Well, here's the thing, Ubisoft, after the shit 2 years we have had with loot boxes in our games, trust us when we say that we have very thoroughly considered the impact they have had on our enjoyment of games, and we have spoken out time and again all throughout. So if all that outcry hasn't been enough to get it through your thick heads that this shit mars the integrity of games, and that we have had enough of this shit, then be prepared to face further ire from an increasingly disillusioned gaming community. If you want to keep spouting bullshit after everything that's happened, and all the shitstorm companies like yourselves have wrought through decisions like adding loot boxes to a beloved game series, or spouting dismissive nonsense as a response, as a meager attempt to mitigate backlash, be prepared for more noise and for the continued acceleration of encroaching government regulations. I mean, you look at a statement like this and people wonder why gamers seem so pissed all the time as of late, or why there's such a support for government intervention. Well, it's because of statements like these that demonstrate how little fucks corporate heads give about our products, as long as they can use them to swindle us to appease their investors' unquenchable thirst for indefinite financial growth. This utter disgrace of a response right here perfectly encapsulates what's wrong with the gaming industry right now. They are fully aware of our qualms, but they'll try to spin everything in such a way to fit a narrative that will ultimately drive revenue, whether it be by downplaying issues or by pointing the finger directly at gamers. Ubisoft may be the lesser of evils, but the publisher continues to scheme all right, across all their franchises, big or small, and responses like this are a clear indication that they have no intention to stop pursuing plans to change course from being game makers to being makers of money-milking live services. These are one man's perspective anyway. I'd love to hear what your take is on Ubisoft's latest statements in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update. Thank you for tuning in.
너의 마력을 마르게
要
해주마.
从哪里开始？啥？要从哪里？要从哪里开始？
2번, 5번 부대, 4번 부대, 2번 부대, 1번 부대, 5번 부대, 2번 부대, 1번
要
부대,
走的路还很长，
2번 부대, 5번 부대, 2번 부대, 1번 부대,
多挣点钱。
4번 부대, 2번 부대, 5번 부대, 2번 부대. (5번) 부대, 3번, 1번 부대, 4번, 1번 부대, 5번 부대, 4번, 3번, 1번 부대, 4번, 1번 부대.
说我丑，接招吧！啥？
마력이 부족하면 제게 말하세요.
说我丑，接招吧！要从哪里开始？啥？
This is Battlefield 5 for you to have a look at with your eyes. It's Battlefield 5, and that's okay. It's Battlefield. It's more Battlefield. And that's not bad, inherently. You know, it's a well-made game, more or less. It's an okay experience. It's an online shooter, one that DICE is pretty damn good at making. And that's okay. It's Battlefield. It's more Battlefield. You know. This one's in World War II. The last one was in World War I. I really liked that one. I liked the weapons in that one. I thought that was a very enjoyable game, and that had my attention. But this one doesn't so much. And it's not because the game is bad, because it ain't bad. It's fine. I just don't know if maybe the way they've done the weapons and the setting just isn't for me. But I think what is more true is, you know, this is also the year where I just decided to skip Call of Duty completely, because I'm sort of over them now, officially. There have been so many online shooters, online wartime shooters, between your Call of Duties and your Battlefields and your Call of Duties, which I already said, I meant to say Medal of Honors. Between all of that, I really am done with them. And this is just more of that. And like I say, it's not bad, it's just, you know, if you've played Battlefield 1 to any extent, this is pretty much totally more of the same. All of these games now, and not just online shooters, but a lot of these heavily annualized games, have all reached a baseline of quality where one isn't inherently worse than another. They're all just fine. It's like superhero movies. It's how I described Assassin's Creed Odyssey. They're like superhero movies now, in that there's loads of them, and they're all pretty much fine. And you can pick out of a hat any one of these games and almost certainly have a decent time with it. And that's where I'm at with this. You know, it's got a single player. I showed you a bit of the multiplayer. I won't subject you to my sub-mediocre multiplayer playing. Some of these games I get pretty decent at, and some of them I just, when I don't have the interest in them, you don't need to see me suck. So you got your story mode, and as with your previous Battlefield, they're vignettes. It's not one long, consistent story. There are different chapters about different characters with their own separate adventure during the war. This is a resistance fighter stealthing around in Europe. And, yeah, alright, they're okay as well. They reach for an emotional gravitas that they do not deserve. They're a bit too short, and the characters aren't fully realised enough that the game has earned the sweeping orchestral music and dramatic speeches that get given sometimes. It just comes across as a little bit insincere. This game, like so many other military-based shooters, try to give us this, oh, the soldiers are noble and the war is bad, but people are trying to survive, and it's all very humanizing, and it's just insincere. Even if they're trying to be sincere, it comes across as such, as insincere, because they are heavily annualized games, and there have been so many of them, and there are still so many of them to come out, that each game has felt completely inconsequential. I mean, Battlefield 1 came and went, and even though I loved it, I don't remember a damn thing that happened in any of the stories. I don't care about what happened in that game anymore, because it's done and dusted. This one's out, and we've got loads more to look forward to. I don't care about them anymore. Anything they do is temporary. It's transitory. It's just plodding along until the next one. Now, this feeling of fatigue is not the fault of any one individual game, but it is the fault of the series overall. They haven't done anything to make me feel like anything matters anymore, which is something of an indictment on the AAA game industry overall. Very few games that come out from these major publishers feel like they matter much these days, but that's a different topic for another time. Suffice to say, Battlefield 5 it'll give you a decent shooting time, you know. just like many of the others have. And it is relatively decent quality. I said near the beginning of the video that it's more or less well made. It's stable, it runs well enough. Graphically, even though it's typical DICE and therefore looks fairly gorgeous, there are a lot of graphical errors that take you out of the game. Corpses floating in the air. I did manage to get some footage of that, if we can throw that up, Craig. You know, some corpses floating in the air. Some of the crawling. We're seeing crawling here, and if you crawl down a hill on just the right incline, it'll just feel like you're floating, like you're levitating through the sky, which is fun. I've had corpses pop in, just appear in midair and fall down to the ground. Things appearing and disappearing. That can be textures and environmental details, and enemies as well sometimes. There have been moments where the camera has gone through the character's body. Just all sorts of... And they're very regular clipping issues and pop-in issues, and all sorts of other weird graphical situations that just take you out of the experience. I haven't encountered anything in terms of, you know, breaking the game. The game itself runs just fine. It's almost all visual where I've had issues. Aside from maybe some of the melee, sometimes that when you're stealthing a character, it doesn't quite register. And you might end up stabbing a Nazi in the arse, like directly in the arsehole as well if they're sat down, instead of getting them in an actual melee stealth attack, which isn't, again, not a major issue because you can just then quickly stealth them and it's fine. And you know, there's nothing inherently wrong with stabbing a Nazi in the arse. You know, some would say that is the ideal right there. Best place for it, for you know, for stabbing a Nazi. If you're going to go anywhere, go for the arse. I think that is what they teach you in military school, isn't it? I don't know, I'm not a soldier. Not a soldier. I had a baby brother, and he was perfect. Perfect in every way. Sorry, I've been rewatching Mad Max Fury Road recently. I was like been watching as if it's a series. No, I rewatched Mad Max Fury Road. It's still a damn good film. Might be one of my favourite films ever. Saw some floating ammo there in the footage. Might be one of my favourite films ever. Really, really love that movie. I've watched it Lordy knows how many times, and it's always an enjoyable treat. You know, it's sort of the anti-military shooter in that regard, in that no matter how many times I'm exposed to it. Then again, if I did watch Mad Max as many times as I've played a military shooter, I probably would get sick of it. You can get sick of anything, really, can't you? I had no idea, I don't know how it escaped me, that Nathan Jones, the, whatever he was called, the braggart of Boggart Row, no, he wasn't called the braggart, Nathan Jones, who had a short run, but a memorable, in my opinion, many would disagree, a memorable run in WWE. At one point, he was The Undertaker's friend. He was Rectus in that film. He was, you know, one of the Morton Joe sons, the big one, who has like the weird rubbery thing stretched on his face and the backpack thing. I had no idea, even though, as I say, I found Nathan Jones quite memorable in WWE. But, yeah, and I watched that film so many times. And then I just saw it because I paused it on Amazon, and then it shows you the actors, and it said Nathan Jones. I was like, oh my god. So that's a conversation. It's not a conversation because it's just me talking and you're listening, and we're not having a dialogue here. It's a monologue, which isn't what conversing generally is, although some people do seem to think it is, myself included, if you listen to podcasts that I do. So this is, what is this, Battlefield 5? Yeah, this is Battlefield 5. And this is all exciting. Like, this is, you know, a war situation with the French forces going against the, you know, the Nazis there. There's lots of explosions and people shouting and dying and shooting and all of the stuff you see in a war. And, you know, voiceovers telling us about, you know, stuff. But it's just not grabbing me. It walks and looks and sounds and talks like something that matters, but it doesn't, because it's more Battlefield, and it's fine. And I'm not saying it's a bad game at all, and on an individual basis, sure. If this is the first Battlefield you've ever played, play it if you want to. Don't if you don't want to. You'll be wasting your time. Don't waste your time doing things you don't want to do. But if it was your very first one, that's fine. But we can't really, we can't digest games in a bubble, because it has to be taken as part of what you've already played. You can't divorce it from your prior experience with the series. And my prior experience with the series has made me just a bit, and with the genre as a whole, has rendered me a bit immune to what they try and do to get you to care. Because I don't. It's Battlefield 5. It's acceptable, and I don't really care. But it's fine.
Dude, you should quit right now. You're totally gonna get caught.
Man, I don't think you can last much longer. I think you should give it up.
They're not on to me.
Then I guess it's time that I start lying at 100%. What do you think of that?
啥？说我丑？接招吧！啥？要从哪里开始？啥？
2번 부대
说我丑？接招吧！
2번 부대 4번 부대 2번 부대 1번 부대 5번 부대 2번 1번
要
부대
走的路还很长。
2번 5번 부대 1번 부대 2번 부대
마력이 부족하면 제게
4번
말하세요.
부대 2번 부대 5번 부대 3번 부대 5번 부대 1번 부대 4번 1번 부대 4번 1번 부대 4번 부대 5번 부대 1번 부대
啥？
더 좋은 부적은 없나요?
说我丑？
차갑고
接招吧！
냉철하게 행동하세요.
说我丑？接招吧！ 说我丑？接招吧！ 啥？说我丑？接招吧！
あのじいさん、ただものじゃねえってことだけは確かだ。だからってあのじいさん。あのじいさん、ただものじゃねえってことだけは確かだ。だからってケミちゃんを任せていいのか。ああ、フランキーの野郎何やってやがんだ。やべえって、鍵がなきゃ外せねえって。音鳴ってるよ。どうすんだよ。
おい、なんだ今の。
言わんこっちゃねえ。警備が。
なんだよ、脅かしやがって。もう首輪も手錠もねえじゃねえかよ。
外れた。
チェ、なんで見ろ、やっと見つけてきたのに。
おう、見つけたのか。そいつは優秀だな。だがもういい。君、この娘さんを運びたまえ。
ありがとう。
なんだってんだよ。なんだこの状況は。てめえ誰だ。
I have what I call the Turkish food segment. And this is one that I have personally been working on for a long time. And you guys have been kind of working along with me to collect these videos.
The whole world out there.
On Instagram, I was browsing the Explore tab. And, you know, they've got this algorithm. So when you click one video, then they know to show you more like it. And I started watching these incredible Turkish chefs doing stuff that I've never seen done with food before. And I went down this crazy rabbit hole of Turkish Instagram cooking. Some amazing, some disgusting, some hilarious. It's got it all. And I'm passionate about this. And I watch this to this day. In fact, I saw one this morning that I'd like to open up with that was completely confused by, and maybe you guys can tell me, what is this? So tell me, what is this?
Is that a gourd?
I don't know what it is. It looks like a... He says penis quite clearly.
Yeah.
Look at him prying open what looks like a organ.
Oh God, is that like a bull penis or something that's been like cooked in?
But it looks like it's like dry flour coming out of it. I mean, I don't know what on earth it is.
Oh man.
Well, I was curious, so I translated the description.
Oh, that always goes great.
And I'll read it for you guys here today.
You know, I'm Turkish. I've never
Would you
seen
eat that? Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. The translation says, for 16 months in tripe, belly fat cheese, open and tasted for the wildlife. It was quite heavy and couldn't even stand the smell, but a very special and delicious cheese. In general, the families for consumption at home, such as pressing out the rumen, would not coincide. Yeah, this gets...
No, that clears it up.
Yeah.
It just says wildlife, but not what animal.
Belly fat cheese.
Well, it sounds like it was fermented in an actual belly. But I love this line. I couldn't even stand the smell. It's very special. Yeah, so there you have it. But with that being said, let's jump right into this Turkish food.
Yeah.
Let's see what we have here. So one thing I've noticed, because in Israel, obviously there's rules of kosher, which means you cannot mix meat and cheese. But the Turks, almost in a way of being like, sucks to be Jewish, they go all out on the cheese and meat. Like, even in America, I've never seen before. So take a look at this.
I thought they were kosher in Turkey as well.
Well, it's halal, Dan, is what
Halal,
it's called.
right.
And they actually,
That's different.
halal, you can mix meat and cheese. They cannot drink alcohol. But they're not, they share a lot of the similarities, like they don't eat pig.
Right, yeah.
But they
Or
can't.
like weird seafood.
Shellfish.
Shellfish, yeah.
Huh. But they can do the dairy and the meat. And so they are like,
God bless them. I
they
mean,
took
as you should.
They're like, praise be to Allah. We're going all out with the dairy and meat. Yeah, as you should. Look at these guys, man.
He's so happy.
First of all, what is, like, this whole method of cooking is bananas to me. So that he cooked it in like a pile of sand.
Whoa.
He takes out this unbelievably tender rack of ribs. Love the music. Reminds me of Spider-Man and Elsa. Those bones slide right out. I mean, this is an incredibly beautifully cooked piece of meat. Now, here's where it gets insane. I don't know what this is, but he took what looks like 10 pounds of cheese and put it on top.
Slug.
So now he's melted 10 pounds of cheese on top, and just without any grace at all, just cuts it in half. I mean, look at this. Sprinkles a little,
on there, a little cumin.
paprika, just for good measure. Imagine that. I'll tell you something right now. I would eat the shit out of that.
I mean, it's decadent for sure.
You were kind of obsessed with this video
Because,
for a while.
did you get excited about that, Ian? I know you guys are boring vegans, but Ian, I mean, did you have respond to that? Did your pulse increase?
Weirdly, I love meat, but that completely made me not hungry at all.
Yeah,
It's the opposite.
Something about taking a giant cheesy shit.
Yeah.
On like a beautiful.
It's like a log of food. I don't like eating logs of food.
I would definitely try that. And you guys, you find it I imagine not.
I don't know what's nauseous, but I probably would be nauseous from this.
If you could feel nauseous.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, yeah, I'm not vegan, so
When
I
was
do
the
eat
last time
cheese.
you ate meat?
10 years ago.
Oh,
so it's
deep.
It's been a minute. I'm deep in it. Yeah,
You're deep in it. Do you ever feel that your will break for any purpose?
Yeah, occasionally.
And what is it that tempts you?
You know, weirdly, seafood still is like appetizing to me. More so than meat. I don't know. It's weird because it's very much just kind of baked in after a while, and certain things like any kind of pork, pig, the smell of it is like makes me almost nauseous.
Oh,
it's like so bad.
So
but like other meats, like chicken, not bad at all. Like that's not bad, and even beef. For some reason, pork in particular, like just
pork,
like
well,
it's weird.
It's powerful.
Yeah,
and it's somehow that the Muslims and the Jews both were like, we can't eat that shit. So maybe there's something to that.
Maybe.
You know? Yeah. And so why did you go vegetarian, Dan?
Originally, for a girl that I was dating.
Damn!
The best reason, absolutely.
But it sucked.
I went un-vegetarian for a guy that I was dating.
There you go.
I was vegan for a relationship.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
wait, how long were you vegan?
Like 6 months. But I started to feel very ill.
And did you immediately bounce when you broke up with her?
No, I tried to keep it for a bit, but
you felt ill.
You have to do it correctly.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh well, I'll just eat some Cheerios because I don't know how to cook anything.
Right.
Sure.
You know, you have to have like a whole plan of meals.
Or you become like malnutritious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, look at you. How was was it worth it for her? Was she good?
No.
No, it wasn't even worth
it was
it.
a mistake.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, there you have it, guys. There's a good chance that you guys will go on a diet at some point in your life or off a diet because of some dick or vagina. So there you have it. But moving on, this is just one video in. To me, I would, Elo, why don't you ever take cheesy shits on my meat?
What?
the way he just dumps the cheese on there is something. Where he's like, aren't these amazing?
Dude,
like
that is gross.
Like he's like, look at these amazing slow cooked ribs. Nope, we're not done with it yet. Boom! Like seriously, 5 pounds of cheese.
It looks like a slug. It looks alive.
Yeah, well, guess what?
You got something.
It is something's moving in there. My dick.
Gotcha.
Because I like it that much.
Roger that.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for laughing and indulging me, guys. Appreciate that. Next. Nobody laughed, I noticed. So this one, so sometimes what they make such an obscene amount of food that it literally doesn't make sense. Like, I don't even know how he uses all this. So
A restaurant?
I know, but even still, like,
yeah, it's gotta be.
It is a restaurant.
Yeah.
He looks like he's on the old equals 3 set.
That's true. Wow, Ray William Johnson took a weird twist in life.
Whoa.
So he flips upside down with probably 20 or 30 pounds of food.
Oh my god.
A food that frankly doesn't even look like it belongs together, but right off the bone.
Oh my god.
Right off the bone. This is their move. They
But
just
it's like
jiggle
he's
it and it's all
making a
good.
mess now with the food.
I know, it's amazing. Like,
Stuffed pepper looks good.
you'd hit that
Yeah.
even with if it was cooked in meat?
Yeah, I mean,
My mom cooks that.
separately, but yeah.
So if it's cooked in meat, you're still down.
I mean, it's a gray area.
Okay, it's a gray area. So the volume is really kind of what fascinates me here, and
Dude, he's so happy.
Yeah.
He's having such a good
yeah,
time.
he's always smiles all the time. Yeah.
Do you know who this guy is? Can you like seek him out? I
Yeah,
feel
he's huge on Instagram. His videos get like millions of views.
I feel like you got to go to Turkey someday and go eat at this guy's
I'm
place.
scared to go to Turkey. They don't like Jews there, do
I've
they, Hila?
been to Turkey.
But it's like gotten worse. Or they don't like
I think
Israelis
it
there.
did get worse
Yeah.
lately, but you can go.
I can go?
No, as a Jew.
I can go get some of this meat? How was your trip to Turkey?
It was nice. It was like going to Greece, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see any crazy food and stuff?
Turkey's pretty secular. I mean, it's not.
No, but
Well,
it's gotten more
I know
extreme.
it's.
I wasn't
Things are getting a
eating
little crazy
unsocial,
there lately.
so
Yeah.
I ate regular stuff, nothing crazy. Similar to Israel.
Okay, so here you go. This your boy again, all smiles. Sand. I don't know what it is. It looks like snow that he's cooking meat.
It's salt?
It's salt? What is it?
Oh,
Yeah, I think maybe it's salt.
Look at this. Look at that perfect. Look at that smile. Look at that meat. What's not to love?
This guy's a legend.
So, it's a beautifully, perfectly cooked beef loin. Okay? But
This
wait.
was before they found out the Spider-Man Elsa music.
But wait, my dudes. Did you think he was done yet? No, he wasn't. A huge pan of cheese.
Oh my god.
Over the steak.
this was pretty normal. But there you go.
This your boy again, all smiles. Sand. I don't know what it is. It looks like snow that he's cooking meat.
It's salt?
It's salt? What is it?
Oh,
Yeah, I think maybe it's salt.
Look at this. Look at that perfect. Look at that smile. Look at that meat. What's not to love?
This guy's a legend.
So, it's a beautifully, perfectly cooked beef loin. Okay? But
This
wait.
was before they found out the Spider-Man Elsa music.
But wait, my dudes. Did you think he was done yet? No, he wasn't. A huge pan of cheese.
Oh my god.
Over the steak.
this was pretty normal. But there you go.
Yes, sir. Look at this. There's more cheese than steak.
Damn.
Oh my goodness. So there you go. I'm telling you, these guys are way over the top with the meat.
It's almost
cheese.
like, I feel like he's almost trolling the American crowd. He's like, here's what you want to see, right?
Right.
But it's Turkish people watching it. It's not Americans.
Is it?
I'm the only American watching this. I swear to God, it's all Turkish, the comments. But that's what I thought too. Everyone's like, oh, look at what these Americans eat. And these Turkish people are like making us look like amateurs.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn.
I've never seen it.
I'm gonna stop watching porn and just watch when he pours that cheese on the steak. That's enough to get me rock hard every time. What else we got? This one is so weird, man. I'm wondering what you guys are gonna think about this. So he starts with the meat. He's got a huge hammer. Okay.
2번 부대, 5번 부대. 2번 부대, 5번 부대. 2번 부대, 3번 부대, 5번 부대. 1번 부대. 4번 1번 부대. 5번 부대. 4번 부대. 3번 1번 부대. 1번 부대. 1번 부대.
He's got a mallet, like a massive hammer, and a witch's cauldron. So he's doing this classic little shake, meat off the bone. Yes, sir. I don't know what's on the bottom there, but I'm down. So now he takes it. So he's got meat and tomato paste and a huge hammer, and he's he's smashed it all into.
It looks like refried beans.
Yeah, it looks like a refried bean. I've never seen cooking like this in my whole life. So now, somehow this chicken and meat is turned into a paste. And he's lined the bottom of a pan. And now he's just covering it with boiling oil.
Oh my God.
Like, if you told me there was meat in that, I would have no idea. I mean, what the hell was that?
Yeah, that one has me scratching my head.
Is that wild or what?
Yeah.
I don't know what. It looks like you could like. It's like asphalt at the end. Like you could pave a road with that.
But you start with this really succulent, beautiful meat, and then you just, and then he pours like oil over it, like. But it's fascinating. We've got more, you guys. Don't lose hope.
Don't worry.
Here's your boy. He's the Sheep King. I think he mostly cooks lamb, so he made this hit for all of his fans on Instagram and the world at large here. Yes, CZN.
Oh my God.
Yes, everybody throw your hands up. CZN Borak. I love how he's like, I'm gonna eat you fucking kids in like a year. Throw it up, y'all.
Wait, is this his song?
Yeah. This is a original shit. But this guy's restaurant's super famous. Like on his Instagram, I've seen the president of Turkey there.
Really?
I've seen celebrities in his restaurant. Yeah.
What's his Instagram, we should say?
I have no idea. It just, I followed it. I don't know what it is. It's Turkish. I really don't. Dude, if you type Turkish food, he'll pop up. He's the god. Bro, he's the god. Look at him. He's herding the sheep. He's the god.
You had like a little Pied Piper thing going on there, yeah.
I'm telling you, this is a whole rabbit hole. It's incredible. So much fun. But I'm not done yet, because on my adventures, did you know that Salt Bay, the original Salt Bay, is part of this Turkish food phenomenon?
Right, yeah.
He is probably, next to this guy, the most famous. His videos get so many views. I'm talking like 20 million views on Instagram of him doing stuff
slapping
like,
meat.
Oh, I have another,
slapping the shit out of the meat.
Oh, I have another sheep god. Sorry. It looks like a penis. I mean, this shit is so wild.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is the sheep god. Look at this.
Oh,
it's just sheep carcasses.
Oh my God.
And a giant sheep meat penis in the middle. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in my life. It's a sheep holocaust. I mean, that's what the Nazis did to Jews.
Sheeps, yeah.
But it looks amazing. I mean,
that's pretty awesome. Like,
yeah. That meat is like
just
beautifully
the
cooked.
presentation is pretty unbelievable.
The way they cook it and everything is so off the chain. That one is actually on the menu as sheep holocaust. and it's a very popular dish, especially in the Middle East. I love how when you have like these super heavy, nasty dishes, and you just sprinkle a little like parsley on it to make it look fresh. So there you have it.
I don't even like if he said that here. I don't know what we do. Like where
how do you approach that?
Eating that?
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't done. The second part is that he puts it in a cauldron and beats it into a paste.
Oh, I see. That was a two-parter.
Okay, so back to Salt Bay. So this video had like 10 million. I shit you not. This video has 10 million on Instagram. Of Salt Bay.
This guy.
I was kind of, I have to say, a little bit disillusioned when I saw Salt Bay's actual content. Because as you'll see in this video, he does not display the best cooking prowess. Let's watch. So he has a sausage that's pre-wrapped. Cuts it. Very dramatically peels off the wrapping. Like he wants to fuck it, I mean.
Yeah.
What
Make
is
them
that?
up.
Come
So
on.
now he takes a whole sausage, cuts it in half.
Okay. I'm with it so far.
Really nothing to it. And he just throws it on the grill.
That's slapping it together.
Flips it.
Yep. Okay.
And here's, of course, where all good Turkish cuisine goes. Tons of meat. Not spread evenly, not even close to spread evenly. I mean, not even close. Like, not even close. The whole left side is no cheese and the right side is... And now he smashes it down. And there you have it, my friend.
Wait, that's it?
That's it.
That's all he's got?
Yeah, that's it. He didn't even cook anything.
Oh my god.
What? What are you doing?
So there you have it. And the Turkish flag?
Oh,
goes
hell
in.
yeah.
What?
That one had me a little perplexed.
After the Lamb God,
Yeah, that was a letdown.
Yeah, it's like watching like a straight to DVD sequel.
Right.
That's
right.
No, I'm not into it.
Yeah, I mean, well, gee whiz, I feel like I've done this exact meal when I was 5.
Right.
Take a hot dog, cut it in half, and put some cheese on it. So there you have it, Salt Bay in the flesh. And one more that I thought was pretty insane, that I'll share with you from Salt Bay. He has what appears to be a beef medallion.
Move your whole body while you do it. Look at
Yeah.
Okay. Seems like he's doing something technical, but as far as I can tell,
Come on.
Look at his body.
he wears a diaper. He actually, I read an article that he
2번, 5번 부대 4번 5번 부대 3번 1번 부대 4번 1번 부대 5번 부대 4번 부대 3번 1번 부대 4번 부대 5번 부대 4번 부대 5번 부대
wears a diaper because he comes in his pants 10 times a day when he cuts meat.
I think Neo fought him in the second Matrix.
Yeah,
you're right.
You're right about that. So here he goes, you know, and now after searing it, he
rolls it
he
around.
rolls it in gold flakes. Gold flake.
Wait, really?
Those are gold flake. The purpose of that, I have no idea. And it does, as far as I can tell.
Actual gold.
Gold
Like
flake.
The precious metal.
The precious metal, yes, Dan.
But it's edible?
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
I've seen gold flake dishes. It's much less than it appears. And of course,
his
it's
classic move. There it is.
So again,
That's like his Mortal Kombat finish.
Yeah,
You
the
do it on
fatality.
the body.
So, you
Oh
know.
my god.
The other guy makes him look like a tool.
Yeah,
That's,
exactly.
There's no comparison.
Yeah. So there you have it.
Hmm.
Turkish cuisine.
I had no idea.
It's fascinating
no idea.
stuff.
Went that deep.
So,
So Salt Bay is also Turkish?
yes, big. I say those are the two big boys in Turkish. Turkish? Turkey. But what's funny, if you get into this rabbit hole, is that you'll find a bunch of knockoffs who are doing so bad content, trying to catch up with these guys. Like guys who are just making a falafel, but they're trying to dance and be sexy about it. And it has like 20,000 views, but it's great. And they're trying to do the smile, like he's just making falafels and he's got a big smile. It's great. Turkish food on Instagram. Hello, and nice to see you again. Thanks for joining us today on this very, very special episode of the H3 podcast, No Memes Left Behind. First of all, let me welcome you all under the gazebo. Yeah. Today, on a very special episode of the H3 podcast, we'll be joined by Dan the producer, Ian the intern, Hila the pregnant. No memes left behind. Today we are sponsored by Skillshare. Now let me explain what is going on today, okay? Throughout the year, we've covered a lot of stories, we've talked about a lot of things, but there's always
마력이 부족하면 제게 말하세요. 너의 마력을 마르게 해주마. 마력이 부족하면 제게 말하세요. 너의 마력을 마르게 해주마. 더 좋은 부적은 없나요?
要从哪里开始？说我丑，接招吧！
딱 집에 돌이 들었나 이 무거워.
要从哪里开始？
2번 부대 2번 1번 부대 4번 5번 부대
짐꾼 살려주시오.
2번 1번 부대
多挣点钱。
4번 부대 6번 부대 4번 부대 5번 부대 3번 부대 1번 부대 4번 부대 1번 부대 5번 부대 4번 부대 1번 부대 4번 부대 1번 부대 1번 부대
玛格丽特披萨饼。如何用这种小棍子形状的餐具来吃我们伟大的传统玛格丽特披萨饼？不是这样。对。
더 좋은 부적은 없나요?
说我丑，接招吧！要从哪里开始？杀！要从哪里开始？杀！说我丑，接招吧！
5번 부대
说我丑，接招吧！要从哪里开始？要从哪里开始？说我丑，接招吧！
2번 5번 부대 2번 1번 부대 4번 부대
너의 마력을 마르게
5번
하지 마.
부대 2번 1번 부대 4번 부대 6번 부대 4번 부대 5번 부대 2번 부대 5번 부대 3번 부대 5번 부대 1번 부대 4번 1번 부대 4번 1번 부대 5번 부대 1번 부대
Jotaro Kujo is a man with many kids, and by that I mean he has 2. Now you might be asking, 2 kids? That isn't true. Well, yes, I know, Jolene is very forgettable, but we have to remember that Jotaro has had 2 kids in the lifespan of JoJo itself. He had his daughter Jolene with an...
Woman? Does that just say woman? That doesn't just say... It just says woman.
And he had his son with Kakuin, born from an egg, in a dojin made by Clamp. This kid's name is Jota Kujo. And you know, I was sitting here wondering, which of these 2 are stronger? Could Jolene defeat Jota? Could Jota defeat Jolene? Well, let's find out.
너의 마력을 마르게 하지 마.
说我丑，接招吧！杀！杀！杀！要从哪里开始？
2번 5번 부대 2번 부대 1번 부대 5번 부대 2번 부대 1번 부대
真后悔没学轻功。
2번, 5번 부대,
더 좋은 부적은 없나요?
6번 부대, 5번 부대, 1번 부대, 4번 부대,
要从哪里开始？
1번 부대,
真后悔没学轻功。
5번 부대, 5번 부대, 3번 부대, 1번 부대, 4번, 1번 부대, 5번 부대, 4번 부대, 1번 부대,
啥？
너의 마력을 마르게 해주마.
要从哪里开
더
始？
좋은 부적은 없나요?
说我丑，接招吧！说我丑，接招吧！
그 누구라도 내 빙석을
要
뚫을
从
수
哪里
없어.
开始？
2번, 5번 부대, 2번 부대,
凡
1번
事
부대,
要步步
5번
为
부대
营。
2번 부대, 5번 부대, 4번 부대, 4번 부대, 6번 부대, 5번 부대, 2번 부대, 2번 부대, 5번 부대, 3번 부대, 1번 부대, 4번, 1번, 4번, 1번 부대, 5번 부대, 4번 부대, 3번, 1번 부대,
要从哪里开始？说我丑，接招吧！要从哪里开始？要从哪里开始？
2번, 5번 부대, 4번 부대, 2번 부대,
要
1번
布
부대,
阵吗？
2번 부대, 1번 부대,
真
2번,
后悔
5번
没
부대,
学轻功。
2번, 1번 부대,
哎，真后悔没学轻
2번,
功。
5번, 6번 부대,
我
2번 부대,
洞
5번
悉
부대,
天机，
2번 부대, 5번 부대, 4번 부대,
마력이
6번
부족하면
부대,
제게 말하세요.
5번 부대, 3번, 1번 부대, 4번, 1번 부대, 5번 부대, 4번, 1번, 3번, 1번 부대,
너의 마력.
啥？
마력이 부족하면 제게
샤?
말하세요.
要从哪里开始？说我丑，接招吧！啥？说我丑？说我丑，接招吧！
2번, 5번 부대, 4번 부대. 2번 부대, 1번 부대. 5번 부대, 2번 부대.
더 좋은 부적은 없나요?
2번, 5번 부대. 2번, 6번 부대. 4번 부대. 5번 부대.
接招吧！
2번 부대, 3번 부대, 5번 부대, 1번 부대, 4번, 1번 부대, 5번 부대, 4번 부대, 1번 부대, 4번 부대, 5번 부대, 1번 부대, 1번 부대.
说我丑，接招吧！要从哪里开始？要从哪里开始？说我丑，接招吧！ 说我丑，接招吧！啥？说我丑，接招吧！
1번, 2번 부대.
说我丑，
2번, 5번 부대. 2번 부대, 1번 부대. 5번 부대. 2번 부대, 1번 부대.
要走的路还很长。
2번, 5번 부대. 1번 부대. 2번, 4번 부대. 2번, 4번 부대. 2번, 4번 부대. 2번, 5번 부대. 2번 부대. 5번 부대. 1번 부대, 5번 부대, 1번 부대, 4번 1번 부대, 4번 부대, 5번 부대, 3번 부대, 1번 부대, 4번 부대, 1번 부대, 1번 부대,
Nghe tốt ba kẻ sao phun chan con trò châm bố tâm bê
又从哪里？ 啥？要从哪里开始？要从哪里开始？啥？
2번 5번 부대, 2번 부대, 1번 부대, 5번 부대,
为营
1번 부대,
多挣点钱。
2번 부대,
凡事
5번
要
부대,
步步
2번 부대,
多挣点钱。
5번 부대, 2번 부대, 1번
要
부대,
走的路还很长。
2번 부대, 2번 5번 부대, 3번 1번 부대, 4번 1번 부대, 5번 부대, 4번 부대, 3번 1번 부대,
要从哪里开始？
너의 마력을 마르게 해주마. 더 좋은 부적은 없나요? 그 누구라도 내 빈석을 뚫을 순 없어.
说我丑，接招吧！
1번 2번 부대, 5번
欲
부대,
速则不达
2번 5번 부대, 2번 부대,
要走的是趁现
5번
在
부대,
杀！
2번 부대,
要布阵
要走的路还很
5번
长，
부대, 1번 부대,
多挣点钱。
2번 부대,
누구라도 내 빈석을 뚫을 순 없어.
2번
凡
부대,
事要步步为
要走的路还
营
很长，
凡事要步步为
5번 부대,
营
1번 부대,
多挣点钱。
4번 부대, 2번 부대, 6번 부대, 5번 부대, 3번 1번 부대, 4번 1번 부대, 5번 부대, 4번 부대, 5번 부대, 4번 부대, 5번 1번 부대, 3번 1번 부대,
마력이 부족하면 제게 말하세요. 너의 마력을 마르게 해주마.
적이 다가오지 못하게 막아주세요.
그 누구라도 내 빈석을 뚫을 순 없어.
왜요? 힘들어 죽겠는데 왜
要从哪里开始？
차갑고 냉철하게
나 집에
행동하세요.
돌이 들었나 무거워 죽겠슈.
有听过三顾茅庐吗？
이내 전술은 통하지 않는다.
要从哪里开始？